Hi, Croissant here. Welcome to another episode of Learning French with me. In this episode, we're going to learn how to conjugate a verb in French. Now, let's start with conjugating regular verbs. There are two groups of regular verbs in French: those whose infinitive form ends in er, and those whose infinitive form ends in ir. Let's practice the first group. Our first example from this group is
Parler.
which means to speak. To conjugate this verb, we first remove the er at the end. Then, we add the correct endings for each subject. These are the correct endings for each subject. So, the final form of the verb would be like this.
Je parle. Tu parles. Il, elle parle. Nous parlons. Vous parlez. Il, elle parle.
Let's practice other verbs from this group.
Aimer.
Means to like or to love. Let's apply the same rule to this verb as well.
J'aime.
Remember, since the verb starts with a vowel, we drop the e in je and replace it with an apostrophe.
Tu aimes. Il, elle aime. Nous aimons. Vous aimez. Il, elle aime.
The next verb is
Regarder.
which means to watch or to look at.
Je regarde. Tu regardes. Il, elle regarde. Nous regardons. Vous regardez. Il, elle regarde.
Let's look at another verb.
Écouter.
Means to listen.
J'écoute. Tu écoutes. Il, elle écoute. Nous écoutons. Vous écoutez. Il, elle écoute.
The next verb is
Habiter.
which means to live.
J'habite. Tu habites. Il, elle habite. Nous habitons. Vous habitez. Il, elle habite.
Here are some other verbs from this group.
Jouer.
To play,
Travailler.
to work,
Marcher.
to walk,
Étudier.
to study,
Demander.
to demand. Now it's your turn. Try conjugating these verbs, and feel free to ask any questions. Now let's move on to regular verbs whose infinitive form ends in ir. Our first example from this group is
Finir.
which means to finish. To conjugate this verb, we remove the ir at the end, and then we add the correct endings for each subject. These are the correct endings for each subject. The final form of the verb would be like this.
Je finis. Tu finis. Il, elle finit. Nous finissons. Vous finissez. Il, elle finissent.
Let's look at another example from this group.
Choisir.
Means to choose.
Je choisis. Tu choisis. Il, elle choisit. Nous choisissons. Vous choisissez. Il, elle choisissent.
Another example is
Réussir.
means to succeed.
Je réussis. Tu réussis. Il, elle réussit. Nous réussissons. Vous réussissez. Il, elle réussissent.
Now it's your turn to conjugate the following verbs.
Remplir.
To fill,
Grandir.
to grow,
Grossir.
to gain weight,
Maigrir.
to lose weight,
Réfléchir.
to think, or to reflect. Well done. We've successfully learned the regular verbs. Are you ready for the irregular ones? Unlike regular verbs, irregular verbs don't follow a clear pattern. So we just have to memorize their forms and practice them in context. The first verb we're going to look at is
être,
which means to be, and is very common in daily conversations.
je suis,
I am,
tu es,
you are,
il, elle, est,
he, she, is,
nous sommes,
we are,
vous êtes,
you are,
ils, elles, sont.
they are. The next verb from this group is
Avoir,
which means to have. Let's take a look at this verb.
j'ai, tu as, il, elle, a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont.
Are you ready for more? The next verb is
Faire,
which means to do or to make.
je fais, tu fais, il, elle, fait, nous faisons, vous faites, ils, elles, font.
The last verb is an exception, so keep in mind it's not a regular ER verb.
Aller,
Means to go.
je vais, tu vas, il, elle, va, nous allons, vous allez, ils, elles, vont.
Well done, language champ. We've just learned the most important verbs in French. Now, it's your turn to practice. See you next week.
À bientôt, au revoir.